What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, listen, I did a story in January that had the internet going crazy, and it's the story of this guy right here. This guy's name is Deobra Redding from Las Vegas, Nevada. Shout out Vegas. And this 32-year-old man was the guy in the viral video that a lot of you guys seen, where he flew over the judge's bench, or whatever that thing is that the judge sit on, and attacked this woman here, Judge Mary Kay Holthus, when he was in court. I think it was for a parole violation or whatever, in which she sentenced him to 3 years. He didn't take too kindly to it, jumped the counter, or jumped the thing or whatever, and he rocked her. And police had to get on him and stuff. But anyway, you guys know about that. Either way, the reason why I'm bringing this up right now is there's been an update in the case. He's just pled guilty in September. You know, he agreed to plead guilty for his attack on Judge Mary Kay. And he just got smoked at his sentencing yesterday. Now, mental illness is something that's out here, and it's a growing concern. And it seems like nobody trying to fix that, those that are in power. But I also want to show you in this video of his sentencing that the judicial system don't really care if you're mentally ill or not. When you come in there, they just judge the crime. They don't judge what's wrong with you, what got you there, so on and so forth. So this needs to be a learning lesson to people with tendencies of outbursts or doing crazy stuff when they're not on medication and stuff. And if they're not on medication, to go seek help, because they're not playing with you in the courtroom. This guy got smoked. Check it out.
I'm not a bad person. I'm not an evil person.
31-year-old Deobra Redding pleads for leniency before a judge sentences him for this. An attack on District Court Judge Mary Kay Holthus as she sentenced him in January on a charge of attempted battery. Redding running up and jumping over Holthus's bench.
I'm not making excuses for my actions. I'm saying I'm not a bad person. And I know that I did not intend to kill Mary Kay Holthus. I know I cared about her well-being.
Holthus and a courtroom marshal both injured in the attack, leading prosecutors to charge Redding with attempted murder. During trial in September, Redding agreed to plead guilty, with the stipulation he's mentally ill.
I saw nothing but red, and I don't remember doing anything except for jumping on top of her and doing this to her robe. I was like, why are you doing this to me? That's what I wanted to ask her, if I think I know myself, but I'm not really sure.
He made a conscious decision to kill me and made every effort to succeed. If he had his way, he'd be facing a sentence of life without the possibility of parole for murder.
Prosecutors reading a statement from Holthus during Tuesday's sentencing, Redding crying as his attorney explained his client's years-long battle with schizophrenia.
This is a person that can and would be able to do it given the appropriate help from a psychologist and mental health counselor.
As she handed down her 26 to 65-year sentence, the judge in this case saying this attack was one on all judges.
It was not just retaliation for an attack upon Judge Holthus. It was also an attack on the judiciary.
With credit for time served, Redding will be eligible for parole in the 2050s. He'd be in his mid-50s by then. I'm David Charnes, 8 News Now.
All right, guys, you've seen it. This guy, Deobra Redding, crazy or not, got smoked in a sentencing. Now, he had 3 years, I think they said. Now, he got to do the 3 years in prison. Then that follows behind it. That right there is enough to make your heart stop. They're not playing with you if you got mental illness. They're not playing. They don't care nothing about that. Did you hear how they did that? Oh, an attack on one judge is an attack on all of us. Then he got to pay 60 grand in restitution. How you going to make that, making pennies on a dollar, working 8-hour shifts in prison? He'll never get out of debt. See, a lot of times, they might not give you a lot of time. You know, he got a lot of time, but they might not just give you a lot of time. They might do something to make it where you're crippled when you come back into society. And I think this is one of them things. Now, this guy was overwritten with emotion where he went up there and pound caked the judge. That was not a smart move, especially when you know they got cameras in there. You all agree or disagree. But I'm going to tell you, you can attack a regular citizen out here in the streets and get probation. You hit a judge, you get damn near life. See it? See that game? That's the game. That's why I say the justice system fucked up. A lot of stupid stuff. Now, I will say this. What he did was wrong. Hella wrong. And he got what he got. But I'm going to be honest with you. If you go back to that original video in January, and, you know, it's all over the internet, you can go find it. The judge was kind of talking slick to him. She was talking a little slick. Well, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. I can't remember what she said verbatim, but she said some slick shit to him. I'm like, damn, why is she talking to him like that? I think that's what set him off. Because I ain't going to lie. Regardless of what happened, that judge looked dumb as hell when she got back up off that floor and shit. You know what I'm saying? Then the thing that's crazy about it is he did all of that and then had to go stand in front of her, 3 days later? Because this happened like a weekend had passed and went right back in there and then got smoked. Regardless of any type of mental illness you have, you should never let anger override your principle thinking and rationale, because stuff like this happens. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I mean, nobody deserves to get pound cake like that, but that judge did look crazy. She looked like when she got up, she looked like she was attacked by a wild beast, like she survived that shit.
The level of force he used the entire time was superhuman. I don't know, from the time he came through the air and smashed into me, he knocked me literally almost through the wall, out of my chair. He knocked me so hard, he knocked me out of my shoes. You know, when you see a car accident and people get hit so hard by a car, their shoes come off. I mean, that's how hard he hit me. And when I was down there, it didn't get less.
We saw there a couple of individuals jump in, one of them being your law clerk.
Yes.
While, if you remember, if you know, while your law clerk was trying to save you, was Mr. Redden stopped?
He was not.
Can you describe that? What was going on physically and how?
Only by feel. Because
do your best.
I was down in the ground and I could just feel someone going at me who was Mr. Redden, because that's where he was, and I could feel someone trying to pull him off and leave her alone, and you know, this like they're fighting over me. I mean, Michael's trying to pull him off and he's not letting go.
Do you know, based on memory, where his hands were?
I do not.
Do you remember being struck or hitting your head while you were down behind the bench there?
Yes.
Do you remember what struck you?
I do not.
Do you remember what side of your head it was?
Left at that point.
Did Mr. Redden continue to attack you while Mr. Lasso was pulling you?
He did.
At some point, Mr. Lasso and the others are successful in getting him physically off you. So
3 of them. 3 or 4 of them it took to get him off me.
where did you go, or what did you do once they were able to?
As soon as I was clear enough, I literally rolled onto my bench in fetal position.
I would presume that this was extremely traumatic for you, but I have to ask, do you know if you went unconscious during the attack?
I don't know.
What is the next thing you remember after rolling into the fetal position under the bench?
I remember thinking, why is it taking so long? I mean, there was chaos in the courtroom, and there was screaming, the alarms were going off, and there was still a struggle. Again, I couldn't see it. Partly my eyes were closed, and partly it was out of my sight. And so I was just laying there and waiting, and then the next thing I remember is Jory coming up, is she okay? And Michael came up earlier, Michael Lasso, my law clerk, and kind of stood by me, kind of, are you okay? And also, at least the feeling I got was that he was the buffer in case they lost control of the defendant again, because he was still very close.
While the attack was actually going on, what was going through your head?
I'm not going to get out of here. And it's a weird thing, because I know that there's video, and there's a part of me going, I'll be dead. But I have 3 kids. They're going to watch. And that's what they're going to see. That's what was making me so mad. Not what he was doing to me, but what he would do to my family.
Guys, that was the judge, Mary Kay, talking about what happened when she was at the trial, because this thing went to trial, of what Deobra Redden did to her. See, she was visibly shaken up at the end, saying her kids are going to watch her die on a court cam. And it goes to show you, I'm going to just be honest with you, it goes to show you, the justice system don't give a damn. They care more about their own than they care about other people. Don't care about kids, don't care about crimes against the elderly, don't care about crimes, period. They're just there to judge what's presented in front of them and give an assessment and give a sentence according to the judge. Do I think this woman's a bad person? No. I think she has a job to do that she does that people either agree or disagree with. But I do think the guidelines and a lot of this stuff with the judicial system needs to be reformed as far as punishments, so acts like this won't happen. Now, I'm more than sure, this happened before. Hell, after this happened, I think in another Las Vegas courtroom, this happened again where somebody tried to rush the judge. And it happens across the nation, especially when you got people in there that feel as though they don't have to follow any type of rules and they don't respect authority. But either way, man, this guy got smoked. And I mean, come on, man, 25 to 65 years. Said he'll be like 50-something years old by the time he get parole or probation. And he's going to have a good time, he's going to have a good luck getting it, because the parole board and all that stuff, they still are a part of the system. And the way crimes are going now, the people that wind up being his parole agents or people in, the people that are in charge of his parole, with the way crime is climbing and stuff, he's going to have to pay for everything that he hasn't done all the way up until it's his time for parole, with the way the world is going. I think that's messed up. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Listen, mental health and violence with mentally ill people is something that need to be taken serious. I mean, if anybody out there got mental illness, make sure you take your medication. And if, you're not getting help, get it, man. Nobody should have to go through this type of situation. And it's better for your own safety and the safety of other people around you that you love and care about, if you're off your meds. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.